faster and more intense. That was his main direction. He just wanted us to speed through it.
George is notorious for saying, after a take, do it again, faster, more intensity. He certainly said to me, it's terrific, Tony, can you do it again faster? But that's it, I didn't get more intensity. I don't think 3PO with more intensity would be bearable, do you?
Hello everyone, welcome to Faster and More Intense. I'm your host, Shiloh Camrath, and joining me, as he does always, is Mr. George Costel.
Howdy, gang.
And we have as a special guest one of our newest writers for the site, Mr. Conner Norton. Hey Conner, how you doing?
Good, how about you?
Oh, pretty good. And today we are going to be discussing some of the news that came out this week, and also the latest issue of Star Wars, which I, like every other week, have forgotten. So which one was that, George?
18.
18. Star Wars 18. And this is a continuation of Rebel Jail, right?
Yes, indeed.
All right. Do you know how many more of these issues we have until until Rebel Jail is wrapped up, or?
One.
One? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
One more. All right. Well, and with that out of the way, I guess let's get to news. So, did anything newsworthy happen this week?
Not a few small things. We got some information a few days ago about the upcoming Lego TV series, The Maker Adventures. We got a premiere date of Monday, June 20th at 10 a.m. on Disney XD between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. And we got some voice actors. The youngest kid is voiced by newcomer Nicholas Cantu. His quick-witted older sister, Cordy, is voiced by Vanessa And the eldest brother, charming rogue Xander, is voiced by Eugene Bird of Arrow. Also returning is Matthew Wood, voicing ROGR, also known as Roger, furbished battle droid from the Clone Wars adopted by the family. I don't really plan on watching it, but it sounds like fun. It was nice to see Matthew Wood doing some voice work.
Yep.
So if Lego Star Wars is your thing, hey, good news here, I guess.
Yeah, and it looks to be kind of a different take than we've seen before, right? Because, this is just going to be kind of the normal family doing normal stuff in a normal Star Wars universe.
Good joke. The kid's force sensitive between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, once you have force sensitivity, this human action-packed tale of good versus evil begins when Rowan discovers the Kyber saber, an ancient artifact with powerful connection to the Force. The world is turned upside down as they're thrown into a struggle against the Empire. Yada yada yada. True value of what it means to be a family. So no, you are incorrect.
Oh well, here's hoping. What do you think of this, Connor? You think you're going to watch it?
Probably not, but it sounds pretty cool.
Yeah. I hope it's as good, at least on the humor, as the last one. Oh man, I even bought the thing. What is it? The Droid Tales was. That was pretty good. That had some very funny, self-aware moments, so hopefully this show will be able to poke fun at Star Wars in the same way that that one did.
Mm-hmm. One of the things that has me slightly, and I don't think it'll matter too much, but very rarely do we get material set between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. Mostly because if you're doing stuff focusing on the main heroes, that takes Han out of the equation.
Yeah.
So, most of the novels have been set between A New Hope there. Twilight Company takes place partially after the Battle of Hoth. But, it doesn't really this, I should say, that didn't feature any of the main characters.
Well, it did feature an unnamed freighter
I
captain
mean,
who happened to have some
if
Corellian
it
wine with
explicit
him. So
feature,
yeah,
yes, true enough. But it's not a given that main characters will show either one of these. So I can see why they're willing to go into that time frame. We'll see if they're able to use that sort of back as an interesting part of this series. We'll see how the state of the Valiant at large kind of factors into the adventures of this little family. Theoretically speaking, if you actually watch this show, which I'm not thinking any of us will. But
yeah, I won't be following it, but I may pick it up at the end and then watch it. I don't know. We'll see.
yeah. Also, I don't know if it's exactly news, but the next novel comes out pretty soon. Bloodlines, Claudia Gray.
Mm-hmm.
And StarWars.com did a list of 8 reasons Star Wars Bloodline will be essential reading, and most of them are just talking some of the material that's in the novel, which is kind of expected. But one of the points is actually kind of interesting. Some of the story ideas and elements came straight from Rian Johnson, director of the forthcoming Episode 8. So who knows how deeply the novel movie, but hey, that's pretty cool, I think.
Yeah, that really kind of speaks that we might be getting, at least in Bloodlines and maybe Episode 8, a little more backstory about the state of the galaxy. I would imagine we're going to be getting some of that in Episode 8, and then obviously in Bloodlines. So yeah, that'd be really cool if we can get some more information on the state of the galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
So Connor, have you read Lost Stars?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
You did? All right. So you know what a wonderful book that is, then, I would imagine.
Yep.
Yeah. So are you gonna be picking up Bloodlines?
Yeah, I pre-ordered it. I'm pretty come in.
Yeah, I have not pre-ordered it yet, actually. Did you, George?
I've been meaning to. I haven't gotten around to. I've been ordering so much other Wars stuff, mostly action figures. I have a problem, Shiloh. You need to stop me.
Yeah. I saw George was it last week? He went on a Snapchat frenzy, and I think I got like 20 some Snapchats of his collection. And it is rather let's see, what's a good word here? Fanatical?
I would say extensive.
Extensive, that's a good word. Yes. Yeah. One of them I
I-
really, really liked, and that was your giant Obi-Wan Kenobi
I had
figure.
Yeah, the Mythos piece.
Yeah.
From a few years back. Beautiful piece. I actually didn't even have any of my action display in that shot. Mostly because I don't have any of them on display anywhere because of space problems. Because, like I said, I have a problem. Please help me.
Yeah. All right. Well, is there any other news this week, or?
Well, I haven't given it as much of a look as I probably should. But StarWars.com did a quick post some of the digital deals that are going to be happening on and around Star Wars Day. It's mostly deals on like downloads of Star Wars games. But I mean, if you want to go into StarWars.com and check that out, that might be useful to you if there's any games you've been waiting on picking up. Other stores are doing various events. Walmart and Kmart have, touted some of their new upcoming exclusives, but they haven't actually committed to store on May 4th. So if you're looking for any of those, may not necessarily be worth a trip. I know the Disney stores, but offhand I can't remember. So I'll try to put that in as a note into the video here.
Yeah. Are you planning on doing anything for Star Wars or May the 4th, Connor?
I don't think so. Not yet. But I guess we'll see when it comes up. I don't know.
Yeah, are you a big collector?
Yeah, I collect some of the toys and some of the, what do you call it? Oh, the Funko Pops. Those are pretty cool. Those are mainly what I collect. Yep.
Yeah, I am at this collector support group meeting. I'm afraid I don't really collect.
What a
Yeah.
square.
Yeah, I know. So lame.
The lamest, really.
Yeah, the lamest of the lame. All right. Well, anything else this week, or I don't think there was any major stuff that happened, right?
Not that I can think of. Maybe I'm missing something obvious, but I think it's been pretty low key.
Yeah. You got anything that we're missing, Connor? Anything that you heard about?
There was the thing, Mads Mikkelsen. I don't know if we're gonna touch on that or not.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Silly me for not only looking at StarWars.com. Yeah, that is pretty big news. You can take point on that since you're the only one of us smart enough to remember.
Yep.
Yeah. So he said in an interview that the Jedi Urso is his daughter in the movie in Rogue One. So I mean, he didn't mean to say it, but obviously that's a spoiler. So
yeah, my hunch is that he pretty deliberate in saying what he did.
Yeah, I read the transcripts, and it was like, yeah, I couldn't have been prouder, or no, what was it? I'm really proud that that I'm her father, she's my daughter. Oops, I'm sorry, I said too much. I mean, that, I don't know.
I think, maybe watching it sound different, but I think these actors are smart enough, especially, Mikkelsen, was on Hannibal for not a very passionate following, where spoilers would definitely have to be avoided. And I mean, to my knowledge, he, has always been pretty good about keeping stuff under wraps, and I think most actors are. So I think whenever you have a little accidental leak like this, it tends to be something that, the studios kind of gave them the go-ahead to, admit when they want to. But that said, it's still a very exciting piece of information. I love Mads Mikkelsen, so it'll be a lot of fun to see during the movie.
Yeah, do we have any information as to his character?
Other than he's her dad? No.
Yeah. So then it might not be that big of a spoiler then if we really don't know who he is. Because, I mean, he could be just anybody and that's her dad and so what? I mean, or he could be somebody that we actually know, from previous Star Wars stuff, and then that would make a big deal. But I think as long as we don't know who he is, it's probably not that big of a, an issue.
My is that this is the sort of thing that was going to get revealed before the movie came out anyway. So I don't necessarily view it as a spoiler. I mean, maybe it was, way prematurely. But I don't think, it was ever going to be kept under wraps.
Yeah. Well, Connor, we already missed the first thing, so anything else you can think of that we missed here?
no, I don't think so.
All right, well, I guess let's move on to this comic then. And again, this was Star Wars 18?
Yep, good job.
Yep. Yeah, good job, Shiloh. All right, well, this was the second issue of Rebel Jail, I think.
Third.
Right? The third issue of Rebel Jail, I was just about to say that.
I don't know.
Well, and so basic synopsis, Han and Luke are still out. They're wrapping up their career as nerf herders. And the girls are still trapped in the jail, getting hunted and trying to keep from killing each other the entire time. Did I leave anything out?
In terms of plot, not really. Luke gets taken after they finish nerf herding.
Yeah.
And they get back to the jail right in time to be jumped by the mysterious assassin it'll be less and less
Yes.
mysterious by the minute.
Which I would like to say, I called this.
You-
Did I call
you-
it last episode?
Whenever the last issue came out, you 100%
Yes.
and I think anyone who didn't, was maybe on the fence then has to kind of recognize it as 100% correct now. I haven't officially confirmed it.
Yeah. So just brief recap here. Basically, my theory, which is probably going to be true, that's what it looks like, is that this guy is the person we saw from the Star Wars annual issue, who was basically led into a trap by Palpatine, finds out Palpatine is a Sith Lord, and then nearly dies but escapes. And so he is coming back now with a vengeance, and trying to kill a bunch of Imperials because he now realizes the only way to destroy the Empire is to be as evil as they are, which is a theme we've seen before in Star Wars. The only way you can destroy me is through your anger or whatnot. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but overall, I guess let's just get our general impressions on the issue. So, Connor, what do you think of this issue?
I thought it was pretty good. I liked the addition of the Dr. Aphra because I read the Vader comic and I thought she was, pretty cool. And it was, I mean, the concept of the Rebel Jail is actually pretty cool. But I haven't read the other issues, so I didn't really understand it. But it was still, it was better than some of the other. Like I read the second volume of the Star Wars comic, and I thought that one was definitely better than most of the issues in that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think this was probably the strongest issue of Rebel Jail so far. But what do you think, George?
I would say it's definitely at least on par with the other issues of Rebel Jail. I think it can only be made for it's stronger. I thought it was a lot of fun. I agree with you guys. I really like the addition of Aphra to the Rebel cast. It's nice to see her get a little more integrated into that group so far. I really like. I have really been enjoying. This. I should look up the character's name, but the person who's come and taken over the Rebel Jail.
Yeah.
He has a scene today, or this issue, I should say, where he, essentially goes into this cell block, tells the guy, Palpatine the Lord, and then kills him after noting it feels good to someone to finally tell someone the secret.
Yeah.
And a quick thing that I think might mention, the reason that fellow was in there was that he slit the throats of 3 Jedi.
Yeah.
And that's a somewhat scary thought, but it's also very interesting. Because I'm not sure how many, I'm assuming the exact background of the jail. But unless the rebels inherited it with pre-existing prisoners, which doesn't strike as terribly likely, this guy went and killed 3 Jedi after the rebellion came into being. And you start to wonder who those
You
3
had to say that.
Jedi.
You had to say that, right. Wow. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. That's a really good thought, though, because it is strange why the rebels would have him, and the fact that we can probably pretty safely say he's not an Inquisitor, and he's not a Force sensitive. But that's a really interesting thought, because where would we find 3 Jedi who were with the rebellion? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so obviously I'm not going to insinuate that this guy winds up slitting the throats of Kanan and Ezra.
And Ahsoka.
Well, who knows what Ahsoka's up to?
Yeah.
They have all those, because they have all those little Force babies they've been rounding up. Who knows what they want to do with them?
They let this dude loose in the nursery on Home 1. Yeah, it's like,
I mean, who knows? Who knows why he just slit their throats? This guy kind of has a beard. Kind of reminds me of Rex's. Maybe the old bugger just finally snapped. Got tired of taking orders from Jedi. Who knows?
Maybe. Thank you for ruining all my characters today. Wow.
Well,
now I'm never gonna be able to look at Rex the same again either. Huh.
The odd Rex, I think, are like astronomically small. This would be a rather ignominious end for him. But I mean, the beard is there, if nothing else.
Yeah. So, I mean, in Star Wars, in a galaxy of 100 trillion people, you can never have two beards exactly alike.
Yeah, well, he's got the hair, and you can't really, the shadows are. That could be Tim Morrison. Old.
Yeah.
You never know.
Maybe. Yeah. Never mind growth acceleration. Whatever.
Well, that's why he looks so old. This is only, probably 3 years after Rebels at this point.
Oh, well, that is true. Yeah.
But no, this is not Rex, and I will go on record stating that it is my plot.
All right.
But still, I mean, at the very least, I kind of want to know what the deal with this dude was. I have to imagine, with the story group as it is, you can't just have this as a throwaway line. This definitely has a backstory that could be explored God knows when. And I'm really looking forward to whenever that does happen, despite knowing it in the not too immediate future.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the things that I really liked about this issue was the continued banter between Leia, Sauna, and Aphra. And I think that they're really playing those characters pretty well.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. What do you think, Connor? How do you like the way that they've been portraying them?
Yeah, they're pretty cool. I like the Sauna. What name? Do you know? It's not Solo.
Sauna. Oh, her last name, you mean?
Staros.
Yeah, it's not Solo, right? It's something else.
Oh.
Staros, yeah.
Yeah, I like her. When they were, I like they're pretty. I like what was the name of the guy talking about the Sith Lord, the Emperor?
I don't know.
That was the part that stuck out to me the most of the comic, pretty much. So yeah.
Oh, Anna Bray was the
Bray.
spy's name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's gonna be an interesting reveal because I don't know. I'm kind of sympathetic to this character. I think they've been doing a good job portraying him to where, sure, he threw a couple hundred prisoners into a sun, but I mean, hey, he's not such a bad guy,
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to feel really, really angry at someone who's killing a bunch of, evil guys, So, I don't know. I think they're portraying him pretty well though, to where he is, he's more than just the one-dimensional person trying to kill our heroes.
Yeah, I think that's a very fair point. You don't necessarily have to agree with what he's doing. And I think most people would kind of agree. They probably take Leia's side and saying what he's doing is wrong.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if it is in fact Anna Bray, you can see how he got his viewpoint. That most of these people are very terrible people. And so you do kind of sympathize with him. And, when he says something like, "I am what you made me, princess, I am a true soldier of the Alliance," you have to at least recognize that, Leia and the Alliance are complicit in creating this person. Someone who, in his eyes, recognizes the harsh reality of the war. Maybe just because I just watched Daredevil not too long ago, but he very much reminds of like the Punisher. Very no holds barred, take no prisoners, kill all the bad guys sort of approach of justice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I never saw that, so I don't know. But I can get what you're the trope there. Yeah. Yeah, and it's because like you were saying with the Alliance being, complicit, you don't put someone in deep cover on the Imperial homeworld, without risks of something going wrong. So, it's not like the Alliance is completely, free of, and Princess Leia in, what he became.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, also we have the wrapping up of Han and Luke's little joyride, I guess, where they earned the term Nerf herder apparently. What do you think? What do you guys think about the ending of this little sub arc here?
Uh, I liked it. I think when Han is a character who's so defined his love of the Millennium Falcon and his love of flying, it's easy to forget that Luke was, considered, an excellent pilot. The pilot in the Outer Rim, I think Biggs calls him. He does, he is the one who destroys the Death Star. Um, it just so happens that he doesn't get a huge chance off his dogfighting skills in the movie. Being absent at the Battle of Endor, at least for the space fight of it.
Yeah.
So I kind of like the idea that he's really jealous of being able to fly a ship like the Falcon. And, the joy he gets in, being able to do so. I thought, it's nice to kind of play up that aspect of Luke's character, which is something that kind of gets left by the wayside. Even here in this series, like
Yeah.
Connor mentioned, the second arc, that's him struggling to, find out about his Jedi lineage. So it's just a different part of his identity.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only one where we've actually seen him be a good pilot is the book Heir to the Jedi, um, which is not, an
Hmm.
altogether prominent book. I thought it was pretty good, but that's really the only place in the new canon where we've seen him, where they've actually explicitly shown that he is a good pilot.
I mean, he does manage to take out Vader and Vader down. He does so by, crashing his ship into Vader's. I mean, that's better than the rest of the Rebel pilots did, so that's something.
Yeah, that's true. Did you ever see, or did you ever read Heir to the Jedi, Connor?
Oh yeah, yeah. It was.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Hmm. Yeah, I think Luke, he does a lot of flying in that one, doesn't he?
Yeah, they go to that one planet with where he found a lightsaber. Yeah, they do. Yeah, he does a lot of different missions in that book.
Yeah. I think he even takes down an interdictor all by himself in that book too.
Yeah, he does. Yep.
Hmm.
Luke has a proud literary tradition of escaping interdictors. Going back all the way to the Thrawn trilogy it started. Uh,
Huh.
uh, oh, Luke, you know
Yeah.
what you're about. As
Yep.
opposed to those idiots on Rebels. Ugh, have to get
Yeah.
kidnapped.
Yeah. I mean, well, if you think about it, a interdictor with a gravity well, it's kind of just waiting to suck in a torpedo or something. Just like drop a seismic charge and it just pulls it right towards the interdictor. It's kind of a dumb ship design flaw, but yeah,
Well,
whatever.
I mean, yes and no. The way it was constructed in Rebels, you're absolutely right. I think the way it had been constructed elsewhere, um, I think actually in Empire at War, an old game, one of its abilities was that it like sucked in missiles and torpedoes, but it didn't bring them right at the ship. It just like caused them to veer off course.
Oh,
Um,
or it could
by
have like if you had two gravity wells, you could point them in a direction where the they could overlap so that the missiles and things could meet at a point outside the ship. They could
right,
both come in and then meet, but it wouldn't come directly to the ship.
yeah, or just have it, affect the gravity so like slingshots around or something. I mean,
Yeah.
I see where you're coming from. I mean, I think Rebels, just, again, for sake of narrative simplicity, just had everything kind of get, that's certainly not how it had to go. Um, but what are you going to do?
Yeah. All right. Well, is there anything else that we didn't talk about in this issue? Anything we need to?
Not that it takes too much time to discuss. I just really like Aphra had some very quips in this issue.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, I think Conner touched on this. Kind of further exploring Sauna and Aphra's history, which was touched on in the first issue, and I don't think it was to any great extent here. Or no, it was in the second issue, but it was here. It felt like it. What did it? From a crush or something? I don't even remember. I can't find the page, but it was fun. That's what matters.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just getting a little tired of all these characters having history with each other. Seems like every character that shows up has to have history with somebody else, you know? I mean, I guess I could see it from a storytelling perspective, but I don't know.
Why would someone who doesn't have history with these characters show up?
Well, you could have somebody show up that doesn't have history. I mean, there was no reason for Aphra to have history with both Han and with Sauna. You know what I mean?
When did she have history with Han? She barely knew who he was in Vader Down, I thought. She had
had heard of him, all right.
Yeah, and that was
they
like
had
the
some kind
of
of
interaction.
they had some kind of antagonism between each other or whatever.
I don't think it was any active history. I could be wrong.
Yeah, it has been a while. I don't know. We'll need to look at that. And I'm sure you can find it and throw it in the notes for the show. So
yeah, I'll make sure.
I'm sure there is a statement that is either confirming or denying it showing up right about now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we'll take a look.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess that's it for this issue then.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, Conner, thanks for joining us.
All right, thanks, guys.
Yeah, and if somebody wanted to find you or follow you, where could they do that?
You can follow my blog at www.connernorton123.wordpress.com, and you can follow me on Twitter at Norton1.
Yeah, and also you're going to be continuing your reviews of the Shattered Empire series, right, on our site?
Yep.
All right. And as always, if you want to follow us, you can do that at faster and more, or if you want to send us an email, rather, you can do that at fasterandmoreintense@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Twitter at FMI Podcasting. We are on Facebook at Faster and More Intense /facebook.com. You can also find us on iTunes at Faster and More Intense Podcasting and on YouTube at Faster and More Intense Podcasting. Star Wars is the exclusive trademark of Lucasfilm Limited. All Star Wars names and sounds are the exclusive copyright of Lucasfilm or parent company. All content generated on this site is the exclusive intellectual property of Faster and More Intense.